Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel here. A shout out to all drone enthusiasts everywhere. And of course, as always, a shout out to my friends at the Drone Seekers, the friendliest drone group on the net. Hey, so I've got the, as you can see in my hand here, I've got the FT Aviator again, and we're going to try flying the Mavic 2 Zoom with the FT Aviator. A couple things to talk about here. I'll show you how this is hooked up. So I have my lightning cable hooked up from the DJI controller to my iPhone XS, and also it's important to know that you need to disconnect anything else that you have connected USB to the controller. They make that very clear in the instructions. So the other thing that I am going to do is I'm going to hook this in my pocket. So I'm not going to use a tripod today to put the FT Aviator on. I'm going to hand hold it, and then Scott Parazinski showed me a trick, and I've got the GoPro here, so I think that'll show it, but where you just pull the ear out on the controller and you hook it in your pants pocket. And I was a little nervous thinking about that at first, but once I looked at it and tried it, it's pretty solid. It's not going to go anywhere. So then you turn on your controller there, and then all you're holding in your hand is the FT Aviator. So I'm going to try this again today, and this will be the first time we try it with the Mavic 2 Zoom. And hey, let's just see how it flies and how it goes. So I've got the Mavic 2 all set up on the landing pad here, and I'm going to turn the GoPro camera around so that it'll capture hopefully some of what we're doing with the drone. And then with this camera mounted sideways, I'm hoping that you guys will get a better view of what I do with the controller. So anyway, let's quit messing around and let's get this baby in the air. Okay guys, so I've got the FT Aviator app fired up. It shows us all connected. We've got the FT Aviator via Bluetooth to the iPhone. Then we have the iPhone via USB connector to the controller that's in my pocket, and then of course the radio control to the Mavic 2 Zoom. So let's hit the Go Fly button here. We've got a 90-foot return to home. You can see it in the top right corner there. So let's hit Go Fly. That takes us into the app. Remote controller, electromagnetic interference at the sticks. It says fly in a place that has less interference. Well, that's kind of tough. Yeah, so tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to restart the app here because I hate to say it, whether it's my iPhone or whether it's the Fluidity app, I don't know, but I can't seem to navigate. Oh, there we go. There, I finally got it to go up, move out. So I got to be honest with you. I wish I knew what that meant. Electronic interference at the sticks. Here's what I'm seeing on the DJI. It says ready to go. The DJI controller says ready to go. So I wish I knew what that means, and I wish I knew what the solution is. I mean, I'm in an open area. I've flown here many times before with many other drones and not had a problem, and in fact have flown here with the FT Aviator. So I am going to restart the app here, and let's see what happens. And we'll hit Go Fly again. Yeah, controller may fail to provide control. Do we dare try and take off anyway? Yeah, I think I could get control back with the DJI controller if I needed to. I'm going to give it a shot. Well, it seems to be, the drone seems to be, took off just fine, as you see there. Let's yaw it around. You know, it seems to be controlling the drone okay. And that's in 3. I'm going to put it back down to rabbit mode. So let's try that again. Let's try that yaw. Yeah, I like that a little bit slower. Okay, let's just see how it controls. We're going to yaw to my left, which means I'll push the stick to the right because the drone is facing me. So yeah, I mean, it seems to be okay. Let's try that again. We're going to do a slow bank to my left. I think I said yaw earlier. I meant to say bank. So we're going to do a slow bank to my left. And now a slow bank to the right. Which I'm turning the controller to the left. That's because the drone is facing me. We seem to have good control. Let's get a little bit of altitude here. Let's turn it around. Face me. Let's do our usual droney here and see what happens. So I really like this control on the for controlling the gimbal. It's really smooth and easy to use. But let's go. I need to get my thumb in here. Let's go backwards and up. So back and slowly up. And I have to tell you, that's my favorite trick with this joystick. It completely prevents cross-coupling, and I gotta say, even though we have that warning, the drone is it's operating normally, and I feel like I'm in complete control. Here is that cell phone tower that we talked about earlier, that we've flown around. I've flown around this cell phone tower many times with many different drones. So yeah, I'm trying to center on it here. Let's go up a little. So last time we flew out here, I tried with the Phantom 4, I tried to do a circle around it. And what that involves with this is twisting the joystick to yaw and then all at the same time rolling, so tilting the joystick to a side. So I had a little bit of difficulty doing that, but let's try it again here and see what we can do. And I'm sure that's something that just takes practice. I guess my point is it any different than using the DJI controller at that point? So here we go. I'm starting to turn, and I am just in turtle mode. And there you see, I overshot it. I'm trying to keep that head of that thing right in the center. And like I said, so I'm twisting the joystick to yaw while I am rolling. And yeah, I mean, I'm doing okay now. I gotta be honest with you, I think I'm having a little, I think controlling the Mavic 2 is a little bit easier than controlling the Phantom 4. So there we are. That's it's facing right towards us now, so I'm going to get some altitude. I notice I have a little bit of a crooked horizon, which is the first time I've seen that with the Mavic 2. So I don't know what that's about, but it's definitely a little bit crooked. So let's go. I'm going full stick forward now, and again, this understand that this is in turtle mode. So I see the drone I'm going to go the other way to the out the park here, and we're gonna try return to home and make sure that the drone knows where home is, so that if we do have a problem, I should have done that probably initially. If we do have a problem, we know the drone can come home. So I've done it on the stick here with the Phantom 4. I'm going to try it on the app, and let's see how that works. Yeah, perfect. So it's coming home, and I see the drone here. Man, this is it's doing just fine. Let's drop the gimbal here so we can let's see how close we hit. So yeah, the drone is orienting itself now. Boy, you just can't beat a DJI drone for precise landing. It's got the landing pad right in the center, so I suspect we're going to hit it right on the money here. But I think it's always worthwhile to test that. Well, it's a little bit off to my left, so we are not going to hit the landing pad. So we're about probably a couple feet left of the landing pad. I was over kind of manually twisting the GoPro so it could capture the landing. So anyway, I'm going to put it back on the landing pad. And I don't, so that's the other thing, is this doesn't tell you whether it's precise landing or not. So like on the Go4 app, it'll tell you that the drone is precise landing. So that might not even apply in the Fluidity app, may not even have that function. In fact, it probably doesn't, because that's one of the downsides I see to the Fluidity app, is that you do not have all the automated functions that you get in Go4. But anyway, I'm going to pick the drone up, I'm going to put it back on the pad, and we're going to take off again, and let's fly around some more. So let's see if I'm far away here. Yeah, you can see how I've got the controller here in my pocket, and it's pretty secure there. When you tighten down that ear, it kind of clamps down on your pocket, so that actually works pretty good. So let's hit takeoff here, and there we go. Readjusted the GoPro there. Okay, I'm going to put it into 3, so halfway between turtle and rabbit mode. And let's go straight up. And you can tell that that is slower than what it would be otherwise. If I'm sure if I was just using the DJI remote, it would ascend much faster. Beautiful day here today. So I'm not in a place where I can go very terribly far without going over neighborhoods and stuff, so I don't want to do that, but we can fly over this other, whoop. Yeah, the yaw is pretty sensitive, so you saw me kind of yaw over there. And so there again, that's something that you're trying to do while you've got the joystick forward, you're trying to yaw at the same time. So I'm not going to go past this schoolyard here. Let's yaw back to the right. And there again, boy, that was a really quick yaw. I wish there was a way that you could kind of adjust individual components of the controller. I think a slower yaw is often helpful. So as you can see, I still have that interference warning at the top there, and it doesn't seem to be affecting our control, but it definitely is something that is a concern. Now, like right now, I wanted to fly straight, so it's so easy. There's no cross coupling. I can say that if I was doing this on the regular controller, there's a good chance that I would have done an inadvertent roll one way or the other. And that's just me. I know a lot of guys are better at flying this stuff than me. Okay, so like there again, that yaw, that's just on 3, and I'm struggling to with that yaw. So this is a couple of different schools we're flying over here. These are charter schools. There's actually 3 schools on this grounds, and there again, I see my iPhone dimming a little bit now, and you know, I'm in the shade, and it's anyway. Of course, I'm doing a screen recording. Also, I'm a little bit concerned here because I'm looking at the horizon and I'm seeing a little bit of tilt in the horizon. I'm going to go into the camera settings here. Can we? No, it's just auto and manual. What I was hoping we could do is put grid lines on the screen. So I don't know if there's a way to do that or not, but if there is, I don't see it here. And you know, that's another thing about this menu. I'm looking at the camera controls here, so even if we go, you know, I've got exposure value and ISO that I can set while in auto, and then manual you've got shutter speed and ISO. So yeah, I don't know. And then look at how overexposed it went as soon as I put it in manual. Let's go back into auto. It brings it down. So I'm going to drop the gimbal here just a little bit. Maybe that's just an optical illusion. Maybe that's the way I'm looking at this thing. But it looks to me like we had a little bit of a crooked horizon, and I've never seen that before on the Mavic, not once. And then also, if you look on the screen there, you'll see the little indicators for obstacle avoidance, and I've noticed that. I noticed the same thing with the Phantom, that the Fluidity app, FT Aviator app, kind of keeps those blank placeholders on there, and it's in the way of the screen. I don't care for that. So anyway, let's go forward again. And let's, like I said, man, I'm telling you, it's just not second nature to me with this thing again. So I'm going to try and do a yaw, or let me get rid of this. Yeah, so I got rid of that menu there. So I'm going to try and do a circle the other direction. See if I can do that. So I need to go back. Ooh, and see, I'm doing it in 3 now instead of 1, and man, and I could even hear the drone above me when I'm making those jerky movements. It is not easy. Yeah, I'm just telling you, the only way I could probably do that is if I'm going to go back down into 1, back into turtle mode, and try that again. So even in turtle mode, I can kind of do it. So that is full speed in turtle mode. And I want you to look at the controller here. It's awkward holding it this close to the phone. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just, you know, maybe it just takes practice. Man, I don't know. Hey, maybe I can, let me see if I can show you the situational awareness facing us. Yeah. See, so that should be facing us directly, and it's not. So I don't know. So I hate to say it, but that appears to be off a little bit. It's not exactly right. Like I said, I'm holding this up so you can see it in front of the lens, and the drone should be directly in front of us. It's actually off to our left by a fair amount. And then, as you can see, the camera is pointed directly at us, and it's that white arrow is not pointed directly at me either. So I don't know what's up with that. So that's just an observation. You know, maybe there's some kind of calibration that needs to be done or something. I don't know. We've got about 7 minutes left to fly. I just realized that I didn't hit recording, so I'm not going to have any camera footage from the drone. Oh, that's fun. Yeah. Wow. So what we'll do is we'll use the screen recording here to show you what we have on this video. But yeah, that's pilot error. There again, you know, maybe I'm thinking about things too much, but I got so many things that I'm messing around with on this drone that, you know, it's just one more thing that you have to think about, and clearly I forgot. So yeah, so let's hit return to home, and let's see if we can get to how close of a landing we can get, and I'll get everything shut down at that point, and we'll do a conclusion. Confirming return to home. And the drone's coming back quick. And we're getting a low battery warning as well. Looks to me like we're a little overexposed on the camera too. You know what I'm going to do, guys? After we land this thing, I've got enough battery left that I can fly it a little bit with the regular controller, and I'm going to look at some things. I'm going to look at that horizon and some other things with the regular controller and see how we do. Looks like we're a lot closer to the landing pad this time. Okay, that one's much better. We hit it right in the middle of the H. So okay, I'm gonna shut down fluidity controller, the FT Aviator, and I'm gonna put my my iPhone into the controller, the DJI controller, and go to the Go4 app, and we're gonna take it up in the air again just for the fun of it, and let's look at the horizon and some of those other things that I saw. And you know what? I think I got enough battery. I can probably try and do a little circle too. So give me just a second here. So I was messing around there. It took me a second to shut off the app or the controller. The controller didn't want to shut down. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the Go4 app here. Remote controller requires an update. Aircraft requires an update. Well, we're not going to do that right now. We'll do that later. We're still recording. We do have a low battery warning, but we're close by here. We're going to go ahead and take off. So I was trying to turn off that yeah, it wants to return home, guys. We're gonna bring it back. I thought I had enough battery that I'd be able to do something, but let's look at the horizon. Looks pretty good here. No, it's off a little bit. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Might have to do a gimbal calibration. Well, we had to start another recording, so we missed a little bit on the Canon here. So it says it's doing a precision landing. I'm sorry, I wish I had more battery. It's coming right down. We're hitting the pad right on the head. They're pretty close. Okay, let me get it shut down here again. Man, I wish I had to come back with a little more battery so we could have tried that. But anyway, there's the good old Go 4 app. I'm going to shut off recording, and yeah, we'll go from there. Okie dokie. So we flew the Mavic 2 Zoom with the FT Aviator today. Couple observations. It's a hot day today. It's about 92 degrees. Bottom of this sucker is pretty hot. It's not as hot as what I've seen like with the FIMI X8 SE, but there's definitely some heat there. The motors, you know, they're hot to the touch. Yeah, you couldn't hang on to them. They're that hot. So yeah, well, you know, on a warm day, it gets a pretty good workout. My only concern today with this guy was, like I said, we had a little bit of a crooked horizon, and that's the first time I have ever seen that on the Mavic 2. So I'm going to do a gimbal calibration on this guy and see if I can figure out what's going on there. But it was consistent. I wondered if it was related to the FT Aviator controller. It clearly was not, because as soon as we did the Go 4 app and it was on its return to home, you could see the same thing, and you could particularly see it because we had the grid lines. So in conclusion, we had the warning on the FT Aviator on the app about electromagnetic interference. Now, as you see, we flew around it. We're right in front of a big cell tower. There's some light poles and stuff around here. I'm on a concrete pad. Possibly there's some rebar in it. But I've flown a bunch of drones here before without that kind of problem, including the Phantom 4 using the FT Aviator, and didn't get that warning. No such warning when using the Go 4 app with this guy. So I don't know what that was related to. It didn't stop us from flying. I seemed to be in full control of the drone the whole time. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly what that means, but anyway, it worked. And then so we flew around a little bit and you know, tried some of those circles. In turtle mode, I could do it. In 3, I couldn't, and because it requires tilting the joystick to roll and then twisting it at the same time. I'm just saying, I don't think that's any easier than the 2-stick method, you know, pushing one stick one direction and one stick the other to accomplish the same thing, or pushing both sticks in towards each other. So I'm not sure that that's an advantage, and to deal with the complexity of the FT Aviator, it had better give you significantly better control of the drone. Now, there were 2 instances where I can say for sure that it did. You saw me do the droney at the very start there. Hey, it's just straight up and back. There's no cross coupling, and I have to tell you, almost every time I use the regular 2-stick controller, I do an inadvertent yaw or an inadvertent roll or something when I'm trying to do that. So FT Aviator shines there. And then we did one where I was over at the school across the road, and I came straight back, and I was able to go straight as an arrow just by tilting that joystick forward. And I'm very successful with that most of the time. with the 2-stick controller. But sometimes, and I'm sure we've all done it, I do it all the time, if you have that stick off just a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right, you do an inadvertent roll. So, you know, that's where the FT Aviator has an advantage. The question then is, does it bring enough to the table that it's worth the complexity of dealing with it? You saw what I had to do, where I had to put it in my pocket, run the cable up, and you're holding this thing in your hand. And by the way, you know, both hands are tied up when you do it, and you're holding that thing up, as opposed to, you know, when you got two hands on the other controller. I'm going to say that it's way easier just to hold that DJI controller rather than it is that FT Aviator setup. The other thing that I found awkward is when I was trying to do a circle to my left, and I was putting the joystick all the way over and then trying to twist to do the yaw, and I ended up it just was awkward trying to hold it over and yaw, and then I was up right against my iPhone in the little holder as well. So that could be just technique, you know, something that you could work on your technique and probably improve that. But there again, the question comes down, does it bring enough to the table that it's worth the extra complexity? If you've been flying with a 2-stick controller, I just don't think so. I just don't know. I mean, I'll fly with it some more to see if there's some other things that I fall in love with, but so far I can't say that. The other thing is, you saw when I looked in the camera menu there, I couldn't bring up the grid lines. There were some other things. Maybe there's a way to do that. Maybe I just need to look back in the instruction manual again, but I didn't see it. It wasn't obvious there. I like having grid lines on the screen. And then also the automated flight modes obviously are not there on the FT Aviator app. I wish they were, because I tend to use those hand in hand with free flying. And so what you wouldn't be able to do, so if I'm using the DJI app, I can free fly, and then if I want to use an automated app, waypoints or circle mode or whatever, that I can do that. I cannot do that with the FT Aviator app. I would have to get out of the FT Aviator app, fire up the Go4 app, and you know, you're just not going to do that. What would be the point of that? So anyway, just bringing all this to your attention. I am not going to draw a conclusion yet. I can say this: I am leaning towards just favoring the regular DJI controller. I'm leaning pretty hard in that direction because of less complexity, and maybe I've just been using it long enough that I'm more comfortable with it. So you know, I'm just showing you what I see, and you know, hopefully you guys can draw your own conclusions. And I really wish that everybody could try one. You know, that'd be the way that they could maybe sell a few more, is if more people could actually try them. Then maybe they need to have some demo days or something. But I also want to apologize to you for not having the recording on the drone for most of this video, but we'll use the screen recording that I got with the iPhone. I realize that the video quality is not as good, but in this case we're testing, so that's not what we're looking for. And there again, I think that's something else that, you know, I was all worried about hooking up the FT Aviator and messing around with that. I forgot to hit that frickin' record button, and I've done it before with the DJI controller, but I'm telling you, I think there is also something to be said for a little bit of pilot overload when you're thinking about all those other connections and all the extra steps that you have to take. So I'm gonna shut up and leave it at that. Hey, so this is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out, and if you like this kind of content, please subscribe to my channel and comment and hit that thumbs up button and hit that bell notification and all those things that we all know about on YouTube. But most of all, and I mean it, I really do appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. And we'll see on the next one. I don't know if the next one will be the FT Aviator or not. I'm kind of feeling like maybe I should fly the FEMI X8SE or get the Hubsan Zeno out again. I enjoy both of those drones. So anyway, we'll see you on the next one.